Hi students, welcome to the step 3 video on English grammar where we will discuss the two forms of present tenses, which is the present perfect tense and the present perfect continuous tense. Beginning with the present perfect tense, the present perfect tense refers to an action or state that either occurred at an indefinite time in the past or began in the past and continued to the present time. The formula is the subject followed by a helping verb has or have depending on the subject, followed by the action verb, which is the V3 this time, which is a past participle, and an object. So if it is singular subject, which is he, she, or it, I will always use a has with a V3 and the object. On the other hand, if it is a plural subject, which is I, you, we, they, then I will always use a have as a helping verb followed by the V3 and the rest of the words in the object. So let's find out the usage. The first is to describe an action that is being repeated between the past and the present. For example, we have gone to the beach many times. Second is to describe an action that started in the past and is still continuing in the future. For example, I have lived in the United Kingdom since 1990. Third is to describe an action that has not yet been finished. For example, it has rained a lot this month. Fourth is to describe an action that was completed in the recent past. For example, I have just finished my internship at the museum. Lastly, to describe an action when time was not an important aspect. For example, she has lost her wedding ring. So let's talk about the four present perfect forms. Again, affirmative, which is a sentence, interrogative is a question, negative sentence, and a negative with a question. Let's do a practice on the affirmative. I have done my work, you have done your work, we have done our work, they have done their work, she has done her work, he has done his work. Interrogative. Have I seen the movie? Have you seen the movie? Have we seen the movie? Have they seen the movie? Has he seen the movie? Has she seen the movie? Negative. I haven't lost my purse. You haven't lost your purse. We haven't lost our purses. They haven't lost their purses. He hasn't lost his purse. She hasn't lost her purse. Negative interrogative. Haven't I visited England? Haven't you visited England? Haven't we visited England? Haven't they visited England? Hasn't he visited England? Hasn't she visited England? So let's do an exercise here. The exercise is Have you ever? It is a questionnaire which is good for restricted personalized practice. Group the questions around a particular theme, and here are some examples. So, have you ever met a movie star? Have you ever taken part in the video conferencing? Have you ever done online shopping? Have you ever cheated in the exam? Have you ever met your deadlines? So ask the follow-up questions: what, when, where, why, and work in pairs. The second is share your great accomplishments. Share what you still haven't done yet. Since or for. Have you finished or not finished something this week? Stand up if you have ever flown in a helicopter or been to water park, or it can be any other pointer. The third exercise is to talk about the trends with the graphs. If it is rising, I can say gone up, risen, increased. If it is falling down, I can say fallen, dropped, or declined. If it is fluctuating, I can say fluctuate and remain steady. So before discussing the present perfect continuous tense, it's important for us to understand since or for. Since or for is a MOT, which is a mention of time. So when do we use since? We use since at a specific point of time. For example, I can say since January till December, Monday till Sunday, specific year, specific time, or last weekend or month. On the other hand, we use for a period of time. Examples, I can say for 10 seconds, for 10 minutes, for 10 hours, for 10 days, for 10 months, for 10 years, for 10 decades. So moving on to the present perfect continuous tense. The present perfect continuous tense shows that something started in the past and is continuing at the present time. The formula will be subject with a has or have been depending on the subject, with the V1 plus ing and the object, and the MOT, which is either since or for. Now, if it is a singular subject, which is he, she, or it, I will always use has been with the V1 plus ing plus object plus since or for. On the other hand, if it is a plural subject, which is I, you, we, they, I will always use have been with the V1 plus ing plus object with the since or for. So let's find out the usage. The first is to say how long for unfinished actions which started in the past and continue to the present. We often use this with for or since. The first example is I've been living in Australia for 2 years, or she's been working here since 2002, or we've been waiting for the train for hours. So I can always use contractions here, which is I've, or she's, or we've, rather than saying I have, or she has, or we have. The second is when we talk about temporary habits or situations. The action started in the past and continues to the present in the same way as we use, but we don't answer the questions about how long so clearly. Instead, we use a word recently. So example, I've been going to the gym a lot recently, or they've been living with his mother while they look for a house. Or I've been reading a lot recently. Also, the lastly, it is used for finished actions. Actions which have recently stopped and have a result which we can often see, hear, or feel in the present. For example, I'm so tired, I've been studying. I've been running, so I'm really sweating a lot. It's been raining, so the pavement is wet. Present perfect simple has a very similar use. which focuses on the result of the action, whereas the present perfect continuous focuses on the action itself. So let's do a practice on the singular subjects. So the first one is he has been meeting his friends after work for an hour. She has been meeting her friends after work since she joined. Or it has been running in the park for hours. Plural subjects. I have been riding a bicycle for 2 hours. You have been riding a bicycle since morning. We have been going to the beach for years. They have been going to the beach since childhood. So let's start with the affirmative practice. I've been gardening for few years. You've been gardening since last year. We've been gardening for few years. They've been gardening since last year. He's been gardening for few years. She's been gardening since last year. Interrogative. Have I been playing tennis for years? Have you been playing tennis since childhood? Have they been playing tennis for years? Have we been playing tennis since childhood? Has he been playing tennis for years? Has she been playing tennis since childhood? The negative practice. I've not been painting my bedroom. You've not been painting your bedroom. We've not been painting our bedroom. They've not been painting their bedroom. He hasn't been painting his bedroom. She hasn't been painting her bedroom. Negative interrogative practice. Haven't I been taking yoga classes for a month? Haven't you been taking yoga classes since February? Haven't we been taking yoga classes for a month? Haven't they been taking yoga classes since February? Hasn't she been taking yoga classes for a month? Hasn't he been taking yoga classes since February? So let's do a practice. The first exercise is ask yourself, what kinds of movies have you been watching recently? Have you followed any TV series for a really long time? What new TV series have you been watching that you would recommend? What are some of your favorite books, newspapers, or magazines that you have been reading lately? Are there any blogs that you have been following? So answer these questions. The exercise 2. Are you a member of any club or groups? How long have you been a member of that club or group? Have you found any good restaurants in this area that you've been eating at recently? What have you been doing with your free time recently? Have you been getting enough exercise? What has been happening in the news lately? So thank you for watching my video. Keep watching more English grammar videos and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you need more help, please send your queries to starlight.shinevr@gmail.com.